What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. So we have just drove 14 hours to North Queensland, where we're going to be trying to track down some of the deadliest animals here in Australia. But why we've come here over to Magnetic Island, just off the coast of Townsville, is to try and track down one species that I've been looking for the past 2 years. Hundreds of attempts, hundreds of hours of searching, and so far I've found nothing. And that species is the death adder. As you can tell by its name, it's a highly venomous snake that has killed people here in Australia, and the locals have actually nicknamed this place Snake Island because of how many death adders are on it. There's a bunch of people that have to get airlifted off the island every year from death adder bites, but saying that, it's not going to be easy to track these guys down. They're so camouflaged, an incredible snake here in Australia. We have 5 days over here on this island. It's such a beautiful place, so we're going to get straight into it, start searching, and see if we can find the death adder. Let's go. Alright, so just over here is the first animal that we found on Magnetic Island, and such a beautiful native species here in Australia. Would you take a look at this? Can you see him in the camera up there?
Yeah.
That right there is a little koala.
Oh my God.
So I'm just chilling with this koala up in the tree right now. Over here on Magnetic Island, there's such a healthy population of koalas, and it's so good to see. This guy's just chilling in his little gum tree right here. This is the only kind of leaf that these guys eat, and we're not gonna disturb this guy too much. We're gonna climb back down, let him be, and keep hunting for that death adder. But how cool is that? So on mainland Australia, the death adder population used to thrive, but since we actually introduced a species known as the cane toad over here, which has poison glands behind its head and looks like the native frogs that the death adders normally feed on, the population has decreased by about 90%. So where you used to find adders, they're just not there anymore. Alright, so we've just pulled up off the road right now. I was actually talking to a local, and he said that the death adders will hide in the gutters on the sides of the road. There's been a lot of them that have been found down this one stretch, crossing the road. So what we're going to do is we're going to start walking down there and see what we can find. And that's the biggest problem with roads like this, because they're built right through the habitat of so many species, so many native animals. So it's best just to slow down on the road and keep your eyes out for these animals. Are you kidding me? That is a dead death adder on the road. That is the absolute worst thing we could have found on this trip. This is a snake I've been looking for the good part of 2 to 3 years. Hundreds of attempts, and this is the first one that I see in the wild. We need to be more careful while driving on the roads. We've seen echidnas, heaps of different snakes, lizards on the road since we've been on this island, and this absolutely kills me. That is such a nice colored death adder as well. Look at its tail. So this right here, this little lure on the end of its tail, what these death adders will do is they'll sit in ambush buried in leaves, and they'll wiggle this around just like that. And when a little lizard runs past trying to eat that tail, they'll strike out and venomate it and kill it in a couple seconds. So we're just gonna move this snake off the road. This is my first time holding a death adder. And if you look behind us, there's actually a car coming past at the moment. So he would have just been cruising past probably last night, a car's come past, hit him, and they just can't survive that. So if I just put some leaf litter over the top of this adder, this is what we're looking for. And this is why they're so hard to find, because they will bury themselves with their heads sticking out. Although that is the worst thing we could have possibly found, a dead animal on the road, let alone the animal that we've been looking for so long, I know I'm looking in the right area. I know that there's adders here. And if I was driving this road last night, I probably would have found it. So as terrible as it is, I think it's a sign that we just need to keep looking. Look a bit harder and look in places like this. We might even just walk off into the bush right now and see what we can find. Oh, you're joking. So this is another species of snake over here on this island. He actually tricked me for a second. I kind of thought he was an adder, and you can see why. So this down in front of me right here is the spotted python, and he's staying awfully still. He is off the road, so we don't have to move him or anything, but it's cool to see him in his natural habitat. So there's another species of python that does live over here on this island known as the carpet python. And we actually, oh, it's nearly whacking me on the arm. And we actually found a big carpet python on the way over here. I'll roll you the clip of that right now. So here is the first animal on the trip up north. And take a look at him, come out of the car. All right, so we'll just pick the big boy up without getting bitten. A bite from a snake like this would not be fun at all. I think he was going over this side, but take a look at that. What a beautiful snake, man. All right, you come over here. We're gonna release him off into the bush. Just like that. Aren't you an awesome snake? He's probably around the 2 meter mark. Yes.
There we go.
How good. First animal for the trip, and I can tell you, mate, there's gonna be a lot more to come. Let's get back in the car, keep heading up there, and see what else we can find along the way. That's awesome.
Boy, there he goes. Ooh.
Whoa, he's on my arm now.
Oh, he's gonna go for you.
Hey, dude. Oh, he just got me on the nose there. Hey, buddy. All right, so not the snake that we're looking for, but it's good to see that the snakes are out. The death adders will be out as well. So we're gonna keep looking around, let this little spotted python go, and hopefully track down the animal that we're looking for. I know you bit me on the face, but that's all right. I'll forgive you. All right. See you later. So the terrain that we're walking through to find these death adders is absolutely brutal. It's about 35 degrees, 10 o'clock in the morning at the moment. We're walking up massive rocky escarpments, but this is where these death adders are living. And although this place is nicknamed Snake Island and we have found a few snakes, tracking down these death adders is not easy. Here in Australia, they're the most camouflaged snake. We don't have anything like it, and they bury themselves in leaf litter, sometimes just their heads, which look exactly like leaves sticking out, so you just can't see them. We're finding so many cool animals, don't get me wrong, but our target species is just not there. And at this point, I've been looking for a death adder for so long, imagining finding one, imagining the moment like I lock eyes with one. Seeing that dead one on the road absolutely broke my heart, but we're gonna keep going. We're only up here for a couple more days, so I am going to give it my best shot, and if I don't end up finding one, then so be it. But I think what we need to do is go try and track someone down who has seen them, or maybe someone who's even been bitten by one. Because at the moment, it's 35 degrees, super hot, sweaty, and we're walking through this area and we're not finding any adders. So we need to talk to someone who has had a run-in with them before. Come right in here, because it's gonna be hard to hear him.
Yeah.
So you might need to zoom fully out and just be up close. So you live over on Magnetic Island, and you were telling me before that you had a run-in with a death adder, the snake that I'm looking for.
Yeah, so I was walking home from the pub, probably about 12 o'clock at night. Obviously there were street lights and stuff, but I couldn't really see anything. Felt something bite me on the ankle, so I pulled out my flashlight, saw it was a snake, and immediately I knew it was a death adder.
Because you've lived on the island for years and knew that there were a lot of death adders over there?
Yeah, that was right. So I walked home, which I actually found out later. The doctors told me I shouldn't have walked home on it.
Yeah, you're not meant to move when you get bitten by a venomous snake. Did you wrap yourself up with a compression bandage?
Yeah, so as soon as I got home, Mum wrapped me up with a compression bandage. I got a boat over to the mainland where the hospital is, and actually really lucky enough for me, it was a dry bite.
So it didn't inject any venom?
Yeah.
Because before anti-venom was introduced, I think it was about 1950 to 1952, about 7 out of 10 or 6 out of 10 bites were fatal from death adders. So if you didn't get help or couldn't get over to the mainland and it did inject venom, that could have been really bad. But yeah, thank you so much for jumping on the call, Jerry. I actually really appreciate it. It's been so hard to track someone down who'd be keen to be in the video who has been bitten as well. All right, take it easy. Thank you, mate.
No worries, thanks, mate.
See ya. In most cases, adders will inject venom when bites occur, so he's really lucky. So cool that we got to speak to him, but we're going to continue our hunt into the night to try and find some cool species, preferably adders. All right, we got another snake. We definitely got to move this guy off the road. Brown tree snake, it looks like. Hey dude, you need to get off the road. All right, so this right here is a venomous species. It's known as the brown tree snake. Very good climbers, and we're just gonna move him off the road right now because on a road like this, we are looking for snakes, but we don't wanna see them on here. They do get hit by cars. That's one of the biggest causes of snake deaths. And to see a beautiful snake like this that we're able to save, we'll just walk him off into the bush a little bit. So these guys actually have rear fangs. So if he bit me and he wanted to envenomate me, he'd have to actually chew the venom in. And I think he's all right. I don't think he has been hit by a car. So we might put him up in a tree so that he doesn't come back down onto the road. All right, there you go, mate. Back up, off the road. Look at this. He's sensing me. So cool to see them over here on this island, but we're looking for a different species.
Ooh.
All right, he's going off that way. I would not be doing that with a death adder, that's for sure, but it's good to get this snake off the road. Let's keep going.
How's that? Turns into a ball straight away.
Yeah, protecting himself. And what these are up here, while I move him off the road, these are protected animals, but I would not want to see him get hit. These spikes on the back there, they're actually modified hairs. Same material as our fingernails, keratin. Australian echidna out here in the bush. Do not come back on the road or I'm gonna be real upset with you. Let's keep going and see what else we can find. So after losing our minds for 4 days searching every rocky escarpment on the island, we decided to check out some animals that have been rescued over here on Maggie.
I'm a wildlife carer.
Wildlife carer.
Yeah, I work for MIFCO. Volunteer for MIFCO.
Yeah.
So I have possums and birds. Come on then.
I'll just leave it rolling.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is my new little baby. It came off a dead mother. This is a little boy.
There we go. Look at that. Little brush-tailed possum. We've seen a lot of them on the road, so just a
Yeah.
reminder to slow down. Well,
It is a reminder to slow down. Don't
driving
drive.
around places like this.
Okay,
Look
so
at that.
we'll go and feed it now.
Yeah.
I'll show you how I feed it.
Awesome. And the reason why so many of these guys can actually get hit by cars is because they're not only living out in the rainforest, they can be found in the middle of the city as well. Near where I live, Brisbane, there's possums through everyone's houses down there, so best just slowing down on the roads, taking care of this beautiful native animal that we have here.
Let's see if he can sneak in the box, cuddling.
Look at that. Hey buddy. Hello. Oh. He's climbing up onto my hair. That's alright.
Yeah, let me
I feel
hang
like
on.
this is, no, this is great. I feel like I'm just gonna have to live with it from now on. She saw an opportunity and she took it.
I don't do this with any other people,
Yeah,
only you guys because you're filming.
yeah,
We're not supposed to socialise them with too many humans
yeah, right.
because we want them to go back to the wild.
Yeah.
And not get too humanized and rely on
Yeah.
humans for food.
Yeah.
And
You're a star.
oh,
Hey,
this is the first time having an experience like this with possums.
but aren't they
before.
beautiful?
Oh, they're amazing.
They're lovely little animals.
Yeah, and experiences like this make you want to save them.
It
So,
does.
Yeah.
It does. And showing people what beautiful little creatures they are.
Yeah.
Want other people to look after them too.
Yeah,
Which
so
is wonderful you guys are doing this.
yeah, what should people do if they find an injured possum on the road with a baby on it? Yeah,
Take the mother with the baby if the mother's dead,
yeah, all
and
right.
let an experienced carer get do the right thing with them. I couldn't tell why the little one's mother died. It may have been snake bite.
Yeah, right.
Death adder.
Could have been a death adder, yeah. They were a bit shy at first, and then once they found their throne,
Yep.
they love it. Alright, sit down, Marlo. So what we're gonna do right now is talk you through what to do if you do get tagged by a venomous snake here in Australia. So first up, we got a snake bite survival kit. While we're over here on Magnetic Island looking for these venomous snakes, I've always got it in my backpack. And Marley, who's been helping me film this video, is gonna show you how to wrap it up so that if you do get bitten, it could possibly save your life or anyone who you're with's life as well. So venom actually travels through your lymphatic system. So what you wanna do in order to save yourself is slow that venom down, and that's why we use something called a compression bandage. So you wrap up the bite site all the way up that limb, and the venom will slow down, which will give you more time to get to a hospital, more time for them to administrate anti-venom and save your life.
So the first thing you want to do before you apply a compression bandage is sit the patient down, tell them to remain still and remain calm.
And let's say I was bitten on the hand by an eastern brown snake. These guys can kill you pretty quick. They're the second most venomous snake in the world. So what do you do?
So you'll get your compression bandage out of your kit if you have one. They have rectangles on the bandage. You pull it until it makes a square, and that's the correct compression. So bite mark there, start there. What you want to do is work your way down towards the fingers or toes, still making sure that the rectangles become squares. Leave the fingers or toes out, and then you want to work your way back up the arm.
All the way up to the furthest point of the limb. And if you have multiple bandages in the kit, apply them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we can't make it all the way up the limb, we'll get the second bandage out and we'll start at the top and work our way back down.
So just chucking the second bandage on right now. Don't worry about removing clothing or anything. I'm just at this point trying to stay still. Normally I wouldn't be talking like this. I'd be focusing on breathing, remaining calm. Also, it's a bit hard to film, but realistically I should be lying down right now as well. So keep that in mind if you are ever in this situation. And although we always pack this in our survival kit, I hope we never have to use it.
Step 5, tell the victim that they're okay. You're okay, mate.
So sometimes what amazes me is the universe, and if you put things out there into the world, cool things can happen, and sometimes not in the way that you expect, and that's exactly what is happening to me right now. So I've been saying this whole time, putting it out there into the world, that I want to film a death adder on this island. And then this whole sequence of events happened literally in the past couple hours, and we're about to go do that, but not in the way that I was thinking. So we were leaving the place that we've been staying over the past couple of days to go and look for death adders, and we've been in 35-degree heat, absolutely smashing ourselves trying to find one of these snakes. And as we're pulling out of the place that we're staying, we see a snake on the road, and a lady was telling us to pull over so we didn't hit it with the car. So we pulled over. It had already been run over, sadly, and I didn't know this, but she called up the local snake catcher, and we were talking for a bit, and the snake catcher on the island actually pulled up. I was telling him about the video that I was filming, and he's like to me, oh, I actually caught 4 death adders that I relocated from people's houses today. Would you like to come and release them with me? Because I've got to release them this afternoon. And I was like, nah, I'm all good. No, I was absolutely frothing over that. And in about an hour, we're going out to meet him and release these death adders. Now, it's not catching a death adder in the wild, but I put it out there into the universe that I wanted to film one, and we're about to go do that. Today's our last day. I will be back here on the island on the hunt for a wild death adder, but this to me is so cool. He also said that one of these death adders could be the biggest death adder in 7 years that he's ever seen relocating snakes on this island. So I'm just over the moon right now. We're gonna go meet him and measure these death adders and get them back out there into the wild.
Whenever I do this with these guys, we always make sure I've got the hook with me.
Yeah.
Look at the colors on this one. So do the colors vary a lot on this?
They do.
island?
We've got about 3 main colours.
That is wild.
Oh my
As I
god.
said, things that they say snakes attack you at anything, they won't unless
Yeah.
they're just trying to defend themselves.
Yeah.
I said, he's not interested in me whatsoever.
Do these guys have the biggest fangs out of any Australian snake?
Well, for their size they do. Mind you, I still wouldn't be doing this in thongs.
Yeah.
So it's not quite cool, but yeah.
Hey buddy.
So is this one of the biggest ones you've seen?
I think he will be, yeah.
So different to all the other Australian snakes, hey?
Yeah.
What snakes are over on this island? Is there eastern browns over there?
No, we don't have any of them.
Wow. Yeah, he's a lot longer than what he looked like when he was curled up.
Sometimes they will go straight in.
There we go.
A bit further. There you go.
Oh, awesome.
If he gets to your thumb,
Yeah,
you let me know and you just drop it.
yeah,
So he's actually a bit smaller than my biggest one, but
yeah.
he's about 52 centimetres.
That is so cool. And this little thing back here is the lure, right?
Yep.
That he'll just wiggle like that and wait for mainly lizards on this island.
He'll be in a coil position.
Yeah.
I've only seen that once in the wild.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was amazing to see.
It would be. And there's so many lizards over here on this
yeah.
island. Oh, that is awesome. Thank you so much, man.
That's incredible, hey.
And so that adder, that when you were whippersnipping, hit you on the foot, but the
Yeah,
fangs
just
didn't go
on
through.
no.
Once you're bitten, what would you do?
Well, first thing, don't panic, which a lot of people do.
Yeah.
With it, that's it. Get help as quick as you can. Do not move, because venom goes through your lymphatic system, and the more you move, the more that gets pumped. Gets to your heart, then it's going to pump through. So just your compression bandage. Most bites will happen on your feet or your hands, going over rocks, whatever, especially with these guys. So best thing, sit down, call for help, and most people have roughly about 5 hours. So
After being bitten by an
yeah,
adder.
if it's a wet bite, people do ask me what happens if you get bitten by a snake. Well, just tell them you get a free chopper ride.
Yeah. Always wanted to go on a helicopter.
Yeah, but the guy who was tagged the other week, yeah, they didn't have the chopper. He went over on the Coast Guard. But no, they're a fascinating animal. I love them.
Oh, he's going back your way.
Oh my god.
Wow, what a beautiful snake though. This is probably the healthiest carpet I've ever seen. Really good looking snake. Look at his colours. You can see him flicking his tongue out,
Yeah.
seeing what's going on. And if you find a skin like this, you can tell it's a python by the distinct 3 belly scales. Most of the other snakes that we have here in Australia just have one big strip across. So we're just releasing these 4 death adders right now. This to me is so cool. This is from what, the 7th to the 9th most venomous snake in the world?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah, and it's so cool to see them relocated and back out into the wild. This is one of the biggest adders that we've actually seen on this island. And look at him, totally under the leaf litter and just gone like that. Yeah, and someone walking through the bush, going past that, just wouldn't see it.
I've got boots on, long pants.
Yeah.
I won't go through bush without it. Now you've seen that,
Yeah,
you can understand why.
and it's so easy to see why we've been looking for the past 5 days and haven't found one. That makes me feel a whole lot better that they're actually that hard to find. And this is the fastest striking snake that we have here in Australia. Can hit you with 1/10 of a second, and that's just absolutely crazy. It can hit you twice by the same time that we can blink once, which is just an amazing snake and so cool to see over here on Magnetic Island. This has made my trip so amazing and so worth it that I actually got to see, after 2 years of looking, a death adder in person.
And once again, just about gone.
Oh, that is honestly crazy. Just like that, this death adder has fully disappeared.
Now he's settled down. See, he's not doing anything. You can walk right past him.
Yeah,
You would not know it.
there we go, little dude. Oh, you can see that's a really
Dark.
dark coloured adder. Fits in perfectly with all this leaf litter. And this was the male, was it?
This is a A male by the looks,
Yeah.
yes.
Here we go. Off into the bush. See you, mate. How good is that? Well, we did it. Magnetic Island, 2022. The second trip over here, and we finally got to film some death adders. It wasn't in the way I was thinking either, but if you open yourself up to the universe, it can provide. And that's exactly what it did. We didn't find one adder. We ended up filming 4, which is so cool. And I'm so stoked about that, because coming over here, putting in so much hard work, for it to pay off like that, and not only just the adders, we found so many cool species over here that I'm just so stoked about. And thank you all for coming along for the adventure. This is the second video that we're filming up north, and we're just getting into it. If this is the start of the trip, mate, I'm keen to see what we get filmed by the end of it. But yeah, we're just going to enjoy the next couple days over here on this island, and I'll see you next week for another adventure. We did it.